The USS John S. McCain cut through the South China Sea on a mission that would test the resolve of its crew and the patience of world powers. The destroyer was on a high-stakes freedom of navigation operation, deliberately challenging China's sweeping territorial claims in these contested waters. The sun glared on the endless blue ocean, casting sharp reflections off the steel hull, while anticipation and tension filled the air among the crew. Every sailor aboard understood the significance of their course. This was more than a routine patrol. It was a statement of international law and freedom. They were directly challenging Beijing's claims, knowing full well that such a move would provoke a response from the Chinese military. The ship's radar swept the horizon, a constant whirring symbol of American naval power and vigilance in these tense waters. Captain Eva Rostova watched the displays intently, her orders clear and unwavering. Maintain course, uphold international law, and avoid unnecessary escalation at all costs. The atmosphere was electric, every crew member on high alert, nerves taut as they prepared for whatever might come next. Suddenly, the first signs of a response appeared on the radar, unidentified contacts moving swiftly toward their position. Chinese naval vessels were closing in fast, their silhouettes growing larger against the horizon with every passing minute. The crew's professionalism was tested as they sailed toward a potential confrontation, each action measured and precise. The American destroyer pressed on, a lone ship against the vast blue expanse, its mission under the scrutiny of a watching world. The Chinese ship soon appeared on the horizon, sleek, modern, and unmistakably determined to intercept. They maneuvered with precision, shifting formation to block the American vessel's path and assert their own claims. The radio crackled with a stern warning. "American warship, you are entering Chinese waters. Leave immediately." Captain Rostova responded calmly and firmly, asserting their right to innocent passage under international law, her voice steady despite the tension. The Chinese ships drew even closer, their warnings growing louder and more insistent, the standoff intensifying by the second. The McCain's crew meticulously logged every transmission, documenting the escalating rhetoric and every maneuver for the official record. Through it all, the American destroyer held its line, a steady and resolute presence in the face of mounting pressure, determined to complete its mission and demonstrate resolve. The Chinese ships materialized on the horizon, sleek and modern, their hulls glinting in the morning sun. Their presence was unmistakable, a show of force and technological prowess. They moved with precision, positioning themselves to intercept the American vessel, blocking its path with calculated intent. Suddenly the radio crackled to life. "American warship, you are entering Chinese waters. Turn back immediately." Captain Rostova replied calmly, her voice steady as she asserted their right to innocent passage under international law. The Chinese ships drew even closer, their warnings growing sharper, the tension rising with every nautical mile. "You are violating Chinese law," they warned again, their tone leaving no room for doubt. The McCain's crew meticulously logged every transmission, every word and threat, knowing the importance of documentation. The Chinese ships began to maneuver aggressively, shifting their courses with sudden, deliberate movements. One destroyer cut sharply across the McCain's bow, a classic tactic of intimidation, meant to rattle nerves and assert dominance. The wake from the maneuver rocked the McCain, a physical reminder of just how close the two navies now were. Unfazed, Captain Rostova ordered her crew to maintain course, her authority clear and unwavering. The American destroyer held its line, refusing to be bullied or forced off its lawful path. The Chinese were testing the American resolve, watching for any sign of weakness or hesitation. The crew remained focused, their training and discipline kicking in as the situation escalated. The Chinese ships continued their aggressive maneuvers, circling and shifting positions, never letting up the pressure. The McCain's crew documented every action, snapping photos and taking notes for the official record. Still, the American destroyer held its line, a symbol of steadfastness in the face of provocation. The standoff continued, a tense naval chess match playing out on the open sea, each side waiting for the other to make the next move. Beyond the visible standoff, a silent war raged in the electromagnetic spectrum. The McCain's electronic warfare systems worked overtime. The CIC was a hive of activity, sailors mapping the electronic order of battle. The tension was about digital threats, not physical proximity. A radar lock could signal a major escalation. The American officers were vigilant, ready to deploy countermeasures. The Chinese probed the McCain's defenses, testing response times. It was a battle of wits and technology. Captain Rostova received constant updates, The Chinese were signaling readiness to fire. The crew remained focused, fighting a war of electrons. Inside the USS McCain, the crew operated with calm. They were the heart of the warship, united by training and mission. For many, this was their first real confrontation. Yet, there was no panic, only focus. Each sailor knew their job was critical. Lookouts scanned the horizon, engineers monitored engines. In the mess halls, sailors ate in near silence. They trusted their ship, officers, and each other. Captain Rostova was composed, her confidence contagious. She moved around the bridge, reassuring her officers. Her leadership was a steadying force. The bond between captain and crew was strong. On this day, that bond was tested. It held strong. The standoff settled into a tense ballet. The McCain continued on its course, a statement of intent. Chinese warships shadowed it closely, forming a triangle. It was an attempt at intimidation. The distances were close, a mistake could lead to collision. The Chinese made aggressive runs, testing the American resolve. Captain Rostova held her ground, documenting everything. Communication continued, a way to avoid misinterpretation. The most dangerous moment came when a Chinese destroyer blocked the McCain's path. Captain Rostova ordered a reduction in speed, not a change in course. It was a powerful move, placing the onus on the Chinese. The McCain slowed, but did not turn. The Chinese destroyer turned away, avoiding collision. The immediate crisis was averted. The American resolve had prevailed. The two warships drifted toward each other, the vast ocean suddenly feeling much smaller as steel hulls cut through the waves. Every eye on both ships was fixed on the other, the tension almost tangible in the salty air. The tension on the McCain's bridge was immense, a heavy silence broken only by the hum of machinery and the occasional terse command. Every sailor knew the stakes. One wrong move could spark an international incident. Captain Rostova stood motionless, her gaze locked on the Chinese destroyer. Her hands were steady, but her mind raced through possible outcomes, weighing every option in those critical moments. The world seemed to hold its breath, as if time itself had paused to witness the unfolding drama on the open sea. Then, almost imperceptibly at first, the Chinese destroyer began to turn, altering its course away from the McCain. The threat of collision faded as the distance between the ships slowly increased. A sigh of relief went through the American crew, shoulders relaxing and tension easing as the immediate danger passed. Some exchanged quiet glances, grateful for the reprieve. The immediate crisis was averted, the specter of conflict receding for now. The crew knew how close they had come to disaster. The Chinese commander had blinked, hesitating at the last moment, choosing caution over confrontation. The standoff was not over, but the danger had passed. Both sides maintained a wary distance, each ship still watching the other closely. The Chinese ships continued to shadow the McCain, but from a safer distance. Their aggressive maneuvering ceased, replaced by a more cautious approach. The tone of their warnings changed, the radio chatter less urgent, more measured, as if both sides were eager to avoid further escalation. The high-stakes game of chicken was over, at least for now. Both crews understood the gravity of what had just transpired. The McCain had called their bluff without firing a shot, demonstrating resolve and discipline in the face of provocation. As the McCain sailed past the disputed islands, the Chinese vessels broke off, falling back and allowing the American ship to continue its mission. The radar screen cleared, a sense of relief among the crew spreading like a quiet wave. The threat had passed, at least for now. They had done their duty well, standing firm in the face of danger and upholding their mission with courage and professionalism. The encounter sent ripples across the globe. In Washington, the Pentagon released footage of the confrontation. The incident was framed as a defense of international order. In Beijing, the reaction was furious. The Chinese accused the US of provocation. The incident highlighted the risk of miscalculation. It was a preview of a new era of confrontation. These encounters are likely to become more frequent. The US Navy's professionalism was evident. But the question remains, what happens when neither side backs down?